ESBR Boxing. How are we all? As you can see, I'm on my own this evening, holding this broadcast down independently, which is only, I suppose, in a marginally worse position than what I'm meant to talk to you about, which is Fury Chisora. Obviously, we've seen Fury carry Chisora there for 10 rounds before the ref decided to leap in, and like, I suppose, a good veterinary surgeon, essentially stop the fight, put Derek out of his misery prematurely. So really, where do we go with this? Where do we go with this? Well, we can sit here, I suppose, and talk about the fight. I suppose I don't know if there's any sort of market for that really. If anyone really wants to hear anything about it, I suppose my own reflections really are that it was one-sided, as we always knew it would be. Embarrassingly so. Fury could have stopped at any point, hurt Derek repeatedly. Every single time he touched him, it looks like there was resistance. Was essentially, I'm loath to say gone, because obviously he couldn't see at the end, but it was waning from where we've seen him previously, or has waned from where we've seen him previously. So really, I suppose quite a depressing end to the event. But equally, and this might be a bit controversial, actually, I actually would like to credit Fury, because fundamentally you sit there and go, he has just given Derek, 4 million or whatever pension allowance or fund, essentially, to sail off and do with what he wants. And he's right at the end, obviously saying Derek is a legend of British boxing, and we wish him all well, and just hope that really we don't see him fight again. Hope that pre-Pulev, actually, but especially post-Pulev, hope we don't see him fight again, and hope he just enjoys retirement. Frankly, I think he's deserved it, so fair play to him. Coming on with then I suppose our reflections or our opinions as to what can happen next with Fury. Obviously we saw at the end there, Usyk got in, looked like that was building nicely, actually. Fury obviously shouting abuse at him, Usyk looking fairly indifferent towards the whole thing. But then there was the inexplicable appearance of Joe Joyce, which kind of ruined things somewhat. But I think obviously everyone wants Fury versus Usyk next. My own thoughts are that Fury would be too big for him, frankly. Both obviously brilliant boxers, but I just think the size differential between the pair of them, I just don't think that there's enough differential elsewhere for Usyk to overcome, frankly. I just see Fury outpointing him, making it very difficult for Usyk as soon as he sort of gets anywhere near him, tying him up, or catching him on the way in. So yeah, I see it being Fury victory by points, actually. But hopefully that's the fight we see next. Obviously, the undisputed fight that was, we all hoped to happen between Fury and AJ, but didn't happen for various reasons, depending on, I suppose, your own allegiances, your own alliances, or your own, I suppose, volition. You can decide who to blame on that one, AJ. But I think, I think, to be honest with you, even if it doesn't happen, and Fury was talking about fighting Joyce next, I think, again, not a bad fight. Obviously, I think people would be happy with it. The nature of the sort of opponents you've seen Fury in with, in the majority, I suppose, we're thinking, Wilder aside, haven't really had that sort of high pressure, sticking it on him approach, which obviously we know that Joe Joyce brings. I still think Fury would beat him, obviously, due mostly in this instance because of Fury's engine. I don't think Joyce will be able to just wear him down and grind him down and stop him in the sort of 10th, 11th, whatever, as he did saw with Parker. I think Fury can box for 12 rounds at a decent pace. I think he'll catch Joe repeatedly. So yeah, I see it being another Fury victory, frankly. But again, an incredible fight. I think one of the criticisms, obviously, about tonight's fight, and people like Warren, etc., can contradict themselves, go back through BoxRec or whatever, and say this was the best option available. Obviously, it wasn't from a fighting perspective. From a sales perspective, possibly, but from obviously a fighting perspective, there's many other names around the top 10, top 15 that would be more credible than Derek. Oh, actually, I mean, this is my own preference. Given availability, other contenders obviously fought recently, but I would have loved to have seen Fury fight someone like Piccoli. That would have been a really good fight. Doesn't really sell, obviously, but it would have been good to see. So I think on reflection, really, either of those two fights, Usyk or Joyce, would be great. Fury says he's not off retiring, he's not hanging him up anytime soon. Will we see AJ fight Fury? I don't think we will. I did think we would previously. Thought we'd see it this time around. not convinced now, frankly. And I think, AJ will come on, beat Dillian White convincingly. But as soon as he steps in with someone like Fury, someone like Wilder, it's going to be night-night. So I don't think we'll see that anytime soon, if at all. So yeah, for me, next fight will be Usyk or Joyce. But yeah, signing off really, I suppose, our evening. I suppose, yeah, it's worth confessing that I was tempted again to claim to have been there tonight, to add cachet to this, I suppose, review. But I realised, actually, having watched most of it, I say most of it, again, I'm lying. I watched the main event, watched Dubois, but I think it would have been more detrimental actually to claim I was there in freezing December temperatures than sat at home watching it, not paying for it. But again, doesn't necessarily mean that I didn't watch it legally, because I might actually not have been in my home. I was in a home. But yeah, anyway, thanks very much for watching. Catch up with our content coming on next week. Obviously, we've got some, as usual, the standard weekly diet for you to consume. Obviously, we've got the preview show, we've got the betting show, numerous written and video interviews. So yeah, catch up with those. And yeah, we hope Derek Chisora hasn't officially retired yet, but we wish him well as and when he should and does. We thank Victor Loughlin for keeping him alive. And yeah, thank you very much, you guys, for watching, and see you later. Goodbye.